Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Leon, and I'm just going to be bringing you a very quick video just to talk about the upcoming EGL4 StarCraft 2 tournament in London at the Emirates Stadium, and just talk about the players who are attending, the favourites, a little bit of history behind it, and what you can expect from each player, especially at the top end anyway, and my thoughts on it basically. It's just going to be a video of my thoughts on the upcoming EGL, which I'm super excited about, by the way, because I'll be there casting alongside Adrenal, as a lot of you guys know already. I've done a lot of tournaments with him online and offline, and also Mr. Bitter, which I am super excited about working alongside Mr. Bitter, very well known in the world of StarCraft 2. So that should be pleasing and a big feather in the cap. So, but yeah, at the matter at hand, let's talk about EGL3 first, which was what EGL was before it changed its name to European Gaming League, because StarCraft is actually the first game it's picked up that wasn't a console game. So big props to them for picking up StarCraft and changing it from European Console League to European Gaming League. That's pretty cool. But let's talk about EGL3, and I just want to talk about the finals in particular, and even want to go back a little bit before then. We saw Twitch at Edinburgh. We saw Bling dominate that. You know, he went there, he dominated it, and prior to that tournament in Edinburgh, he kind of dominated everything in the UK, right? You know, he turned up at the I-Series, and he was the only person who come close to selected I-42. A little bit before then, he won the Dignitas Gamer Search. He did exceptionally well at the Gadget Show Live, taking out Hasuobs, and he took out Select there as well, I believe. He beat Select and Hasuobs at the Gadget Show Live and got to the quarterfinals, I believe. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong there, and probably Bling himself. But you know, he did really well. You know, he's super strong. He was definitely regarded as the top in the UK at the time. Then EGL3 came around, and it was a week after Bling played in both the Twitch and the Shoutcraft Invitational. So he had a lot of practice going into this. He was feeling very confident, and in the final, Lau just beat him. You know, it wasn't even close. I mean, I think Bling took one game, but it was definitely Lau's tournament. He had the better build orders, the better strategies going into this final, and just took Bling apart. I mean, that took us a lot of us by surprise. I mean, I was really shocked to see that result, and Bling was absolutely devastated. I think a lot of people at the time, because of his such super awesome run before then, a lot of people said, well, it can kind of be good for him because he hadn't lost till then. So to lose in the way he did is just going to help him in the future, and he's going to learn from it and make a big push for WCG, which was a couple of months later. And he didn't see it at the time. He was a little upset, but I think we were definitely right. I mean, he went to the WCG qualifiers for the UK I-Series. By the way, I apologise in advance for this auto zoom. I don't know how to fix it. If anyone can sort that out for me, that would be great. But he played at the WCG qualifiers at I-Series, and he dominated. He played superbly. He played so well. His builds and his control was just absolutely perfect. There's no other word for it, really. And he beat Lau. He played Lau again in the final and beat him there. So there's a little bit of back and forth between them two players, Bling and Lau. There's big history between them, and Bling's come out on top most of the time. But Lau, you know, as we saw at EGL3, able to take it when it counts. So going into this EGL, I thought it was important to talk about the last one first. Bling and Lau are definitely going to be within the top 4, I feel. And but I say top 4. I think Bling probably is top 2, but it all comes down to Dignitas Tan. Now, I know he had he is a Korean player that was picked up by Dignitas because he'd moved over to the UK to study in Manchester, and I haven't seen all that much of him. I'm not going to lie about that. I haven't seen too much. I've seen he played several games in the EG's Masters Cup a couple of weeks back, and he ladded a whole bunch when he first came over here. And I had the pleasure to watch that for a little bit, but I haven't really seen a lot of his games, and I'm going to try and do a lot of research before the tournament here, so I'm going to get a lot of replays and stuff and try and really study him, but I really don't know about his style. I don't really know about him all that much. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, any Korean that goes to an event is going to feel a little bit confident, because that's the bread and butter, StarCraft 2, of course. So yeah, it's going to come down to what he turns out like, but even still, I mean, first LAN really in the UK for him, you know, that's going to play a part. I think Bling is probably still going to be favourites, just based off his results and his experience in LAN events now. It's been over a year since he's signed for Dignitas, so Bling's going to definitely be probably the favourite in my eyes to take the whole thing. But I just want to talk about the tournament in general. I'm just looking at this playlist here on my my right monitor, and we have a lot of players. Actually, no, it's alright. We have a lot of players who can, who are really strong and who can place really high. So I think after the top two, I think from like 3rd to 6th to 7th is going to be like unpredictable. Like you can put them in any order and you can say, yeah, that could happen, or like you just have no idea how close it's going to be after that. I mean, but here's bit my tongue. But here's just my predictions for it. I think Bling is probably going to finish top 2. I can't say if he's going to finish first or not, but him and Dignitas Tan and Lau will be the top 3 in my eyes after that. But after that, it's so close. I mean, I just want to talk about, because from Infused we have obviously Lau, Gomas is attending as well, and Randy. Now Randy is, I want to start with Randy first. Randy is a really good good gamer. I think he's just good at games in general. And StarCraft 2, he's a very talented player, but he just doesn't have a lot of time to practice. I know recently he has been practicing a lot more. Using obviously a lot of Infused players to practice with. I actually see him practice quite a lot actually recently. I'm actually surprised he's managed to get as many games in as he has. So he's gonna be good, and he always finishes highly. He always does strong in LAN. So I'll be really. I'll keep an eye on him. He has definitely the potential to get into a top 5 spot for sure, because his control is pretty good. And then we have obviously Gomas and Lau. Now these two players, I find it really hard to distinguish between them in terms of which one I think is more favourite to win. Lau has a lot of solid finishes in the past, and Gomas of course is a very talented player himself. Lau, I want to start with Gomas. I've seen him play quite a few times now. He has very strong builds, very good control, good macro. He's an all-round good solid player, and I think he has a very good chance of finishing the top 5. But Lau, like I said, Lau is a strong player, but the weakness of Lau is, I think, as the longer the game goes on, the less chance he has of winning, if you know what I mean. Like his strength decreases the way longer the game goes on. I think early game to mid game Lau is super strong. His strategies always like so tight. Like his build orders, his control, his execution of builds is exquisite, and I think it's probably second to none in the UK. I think his execution of single builds is just unbelievable. And I think that's his real strength. I mean, we see time and time again he wins games in the first 15 minutes because his builds are just so strong. But don't get me wrong, he has good macro as well. But like that's when he's at his strongest at the start. And Gomas, I think, is more of an all-round player. I think he can do these. He can throw in these all-ins. He can throw in these really aggressive builds early on. But I think he can also fall back and play a very strong late game as well. So it's going to be a little bit close between which one I'd say would finish higher. I actually don't know. Them two will make a very good fight of it. After that, we have players like Lowland Lions O'Reilly. I don't even know how it's spelled. It could be Orly, but I'm pretty sure it's like O'Reilly kind of name, O-R-L-Y. And now he's a player I casted at DreamHack BYOC in the summer, and he is a very impressive. Like he plays so many games in the lower bracket, game after game after game after game, and still won like a phenomenal record on one of them. He dropped so little games and got through to the finals or the semi-finals, I think, of a couple of the BYOCs. I think he got to the semi-finals of the lower bracket of the first BYOC of DreamHack Summer, and I know he played players like Wellmu, he played players like Cytoplasm, I think Osho he played as well. He played some really solid players, and this tournament went on till like I think it was 6 in the morning and 7 over there in Sweden. So it was a ridiculous time to finish, but he still kept playing solid games as well. So he's definitely going to be one player to look out for. And from watching his games myself, he's going to have a good tournament. Or really, he's definitely a player to look out for. And this is what I'm talking about. There's just so many good players, who can have top finishes. Now, there's also Fargo, another Terran player as well. who's really strong. Got into the finals of I-43 against Mers, of course, in that epic TBT final, which was absolutely insane how he lost that. Only he'll know, and he'll kick himself for losing that, because that was his game. He should have won that, and he'll know that, and he'll go into this feeling that there's some, he has to prove a point, and he'll be going in there with a little bit of confidence after the final, I do feel, and he'll want to prove himself to the UK community and to the world, so he'll want to pick up a win as well, so he'll do very well. And then there's Razorblader. Razorblader, now, he's a very good player, don't get me wrong. Grandmaster's Terran player, another Terran. But Razorblader is definitely a early game player. The longer the game goes on, the weaker he's going to get, like dramatically weaker. But that's not to say he's a bad player. His early game is phenomenal. His early game is really strong. He is super strong with his one base timings, even very quick 2-base timings. But if you get him if you just hold off the pressure, I feel you sit back, you defend it, and then you push forward and finish him off in the late game. I think that's what players are going to see and identify. And I know some players have beaten him recently by doing that as well. So yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm talking about. Let's have a quick look over that. So we've got, let's show the hands here. So there's Gomas. These are the players who feel will probably finish maybe below the top 2. Gomas, Lau, Randy, Fargo, O'Reilly, Razorblader. There's 6 players that I'm listing who I just don't know which one will finish above the other. It's going to be that close. It's going to be quite ridiculous. Yeah, and then we have some other players here who have made some appearances in the past. Gunner's mate went to the last ECL and he went to I-Series. He made a solid finish, and I think this event will be more about experience rather than high finish, and he'll try and do his best really to just kind of establish himself a little bit, and I think he'll do quite well. I don't think he can finish into that top 7, the top 8 that I was talking about just then, but I think he'll make a good fist of it. He'll take 1 or 2 games off a couple of them players. Let's have another look. We've got Skyder. Now Skyder, he had a very good run at the WCG UK. I believe he got to the semi-finals or the quarters, and auto zoom. Now I haven't seen enough of his play to really determine if he's good enough. I think he's only a couple of places above me in the ladder, so in terms of the ladder, his position isn't all that great, but lands are a different kettle of fish, so it depends how he turns up. But then you've got players like Derange and others making the trip. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. I just wanted to say I still think it's going to be the closest tournament the UK has seen in StarCraft 2. It's good in terms of you just can't predict after the top 2. Really, you can't. Like that 6 to 7 players under that. You could put them in any order, and you'd say yeah, that's possible of happening. So yeah, guys, definitely check it out. It's going to be an absolutely incredible event. There's going to be so many games, and that's why I'm excited, because these games, there's going to be so many games taken off each other. There's going to be a lot of close series. I don't think there's going to be many 2-0s or 3-0s. Especially not on the second day. On the first day, yeah, in group stages and whatnot, maybe. But after that, it's going to be so close. And you guys are in for a hell of a treat. Mr. Bitt is coming over to cast it, and he always brings great entertainment. I hope to be able to also offer some entertainment as well in our field. And yeah, guys, definitely check out the stream. It's going to be on this weekend. You can find out more information at the EGL website. I wish I had it here nearby, but I don't. Actually, hold on. I might have it. Yeah, I do actually. ECL.eu. If you go there, you'll find out more information, and also you can just view it on Team Liquid and other community websites. There'll be links to the stream and such. So definitely check it out. It's going to be quite an event. And I look forward to, if you're going down as well, I look forward to seeing a lot of you there and whatnot, and come say hello. It's going to be a great event, and it's great for the UK. So you guys, I hope you support us, I hope you support the stream, and I hope you have a brilliant time if you're attending. That's going to be all for me for now, and I'll see you guys later.